Organization knowledge domain. This domain covers critical HR knowledge relating to the organization. Its functional areas include structure of the HR function, organizational effectiveness and development, workforce management, employee and labor relations, and technology management. To carry out their job responsibilities effectively, HR professionals need to know how to create an effective HR function that is fully aligned to organizational strategy, enhance the effectiveness of the organization at large, ensure that the organization's talent pool has the skills and capabilities to achieve organizational goals, promote positive relationships with employees, and leverage technology to improve HR functioning. Structure of the HR function. Structure of the HR function encompasses the people, processes, and activities involved in the delivery of HR-related services that create and drive organizational effectiveness. Key concepts. Approaches to HR function/service models. Examples include centralized, decentralized, global resources. Approaches to HR structural models. Examples include Center of Excellence, Shared Services, Business Partners, Matrix. Elements of the HR function. Examples include recruiting, talent management, compensation, benefits. HR staff roles, responsibilities, and functions. Examples include generalists, specialists, HR business partners. Outsourcing of HR functions. Examples include recruiting, benefits administration, payroll, legal, contract management, investigations. HR function metrics. Examples include HR staff per full-time employee, customer satisfaction, key performance indicators, KPIs, balanced scorecard. Proficiency indicators for all HR professionals. Adapts work style to fit the organization's HR service model to ensure timely and consistent delivery of services to stakeholders. Seeks feedback from stakeholders to identify opportunities to improve HR function. Acts as HR point-of-service contact for key stakeholders within a division or group. Consults with all levels of leadership and management on HR issues. Coordinates with other HR functions to ensure timely and consistent delivery of services to stakeholders. Ensures that outsourced and/or automated HR functions are integrated with other HR activities. Analyzes and interprets key performance indicators, KPIs, to understand the effectiveness of the HR function. Works collaboratively with departments outside of HR to deliver and support HR-related functions, such as working with IT to implement an HR information system. For advanced HR professionals. Designs, implements, and adjusts the HR service model for the organization to ensure efficient and effective delivery of services to stakeholders. Creates long-term goals and implements changes that address feedback from stakeholders, identifying opportunities for HR function improvements. Ensures that all elements of the HR function are aligned and integrated, and that they provide timely and consistent delivery of services to stakeholders. Identifies opportunities to improve HR operations by outsourcing work or implementing technologies that automate HR functions. Designs and oversees programs to collect, analyze, and interpret HR function metrics to evaluate the effectiveness of HR activities in supporting organizational success. Organizational effectiveness and development. Organizational effectiveness and development concerns the overall structure and functionality of the organization and involves measurement of long and short-term effectiveness and growth of people and processes and implementation of necessary organizational change initiatives. Key concepts. Group dynamics. Examples include intergroup and intragroup, group formation, identity, cohesion, structure, influence on behavior, conflict, forming, storming, norming, and performing. Organizational design structures and approaches. Examples include customer, functional, geographic, matrix, program. Organizational analysis. Examples include performance analysis, McKinsey 7S model. Proficiency indicators for all HR professionals. Ensures that key documents and systems, examples include job postings, job descriptions, performance management systems, accurately reflect workforce activities. Supports change initiatives to increase the effectiveness of HR systems and processes. Identifies areas in the organization structures, processes, and procedures that need change. Recommends methods to eliminate barriers to organizational effectiveness and development. Collects and analyzes data on organizational performance and the value of HR initiatives to the organization. For advanced HR professionals. Aligns HR strategy and activities with the organization's mission, vision, values, and strategy. Regularly monitors results against performance standards and goals in support of the organization's strategy. Establishes measurable goals and objectives to create a culture of accountability, continuous experimentation, and improvement. Consults on, plans, and designs organizational structures that align with the effective delivery of activities in support of the organization's strategy. Assesses organizational needs to identify critical competencies for operational effectiveness. Designs and oversees change initiatives to increase the effectiveness of HR systems and processes. Ensures that HR initiatives demonstrate measurable value to the organization. Workforce management. Workforce management refers to HR practices and initiatives that allow the organization to meet its talent needs and close critical gaps in competencies. Key concepts. Workforce planning approaches, techniques, and analyses. Examples include forecasting, build, buy, borrow, and bridge strategies, attrition, gap and solution, supply and demand, workforce profile, upskilling and reskilling employees, redesigning jobs, robotics, identifying high-potential employees, identifying high-performance employees. Best practices and techniques for knowledge management, retention, and transfer. Examples include benchmarking, thought leadership, techniques for organizational gap analysis. Examples include examination of HR records, interviews, focus groups, surveys, exit interviews, digital skills assessments. Non-traditional staffing methods. Examples include gig workers, remote workers, seasonal workers, contract workers, interns. Succession planning programs and techniques. Examples include mentorship, cross-training, 9-box grid. Approaches to restructuring and downsizing. Examples include mergers and acquisitions, reductions in force, layoffs, furloughs. Proficiency indicators for all HR professionals. Assesses the competencies needed to support and grow the organization, and identifies gaps and misalignment of staffing levels. Implements approaches to ensure that appropriate workforce staffing levels and competencies exist to meet the organization's goals and objectives. Forecasts future workforce needs, and plans strategies to develop workforce competencies that support the organization's goals and objectives. Administers and supports approaches to ensure the organization's long-term leadership needs are met. Supports strategies for restructuring the organization's workforce. Provides employees with continuous learning opportunities, including opportunities for upskilling and reskilling. For advanced HR professionals. Evaluates how the organization's strategy and goals align with future and current staffing levels and workforce competencies. Develop strategies to maintain a robust workforce that has the talent to carry out the organization's current and future strategy and goals. Coordinates with business leaders to create strategies that address the organization's long-term leadership needs. Develop strategies for restructuring the organization's workforce. Employee and labor relations refers to any interactions between the organization and its employees regarding the terms and conditions of employment. Key concepts. Employment rights, standards and concepts according to the International Labor Organization. Examples include labor rights, living wage and fair wage concepts, standard workday, unfair labor practices. Types and development of compliance and ethics programs. Examples include design, implementation, required postings, performance measures. Types of alternative dispute resolution, ADR, and their advantages and disadvantages. Examples include mediation, arbitration. Approaches to retaliation prevention. Examples include open-door policy, open communication, non-retaliation policy, whistleblower protection, documentation. Techniques for workplace investigations. Examples include consistency, interview plan, summary report. Progressive disciplinary procedures and approaches. Examples include counseling, performance improvement plan, corrective action, verbal warning, demotion, termination. Techniques for grievance and complaint resolution. Examples include grievance procedure, investigation, appeal. Causes of and methods for preventing and addressing strikes, lockouts, and boycotts. Examples of causes include unfair labor practices, economic grievances. Examples of methods for preventing and addressing include strike response plan, hiring temporary workers, protection of non-striking employees, supply chain contingency plans. Proficiency indicators for all HR professionals. Develops and implements workplace policies, handbooks, and codes of conduct. Provides guidance to employees on the terms and implications of their employment agreement and the organization's policies and procedures. Examples include Employee Handbook, Code of Conduct. Advises managers on how to supervise difficult employees, handle disruptive behaviors, and respond with the appropriate level of corrective action. conducts investigations into employee misconduct and suggests disciplinary action when necessary, manages employee grievance and discipline processes, resolves workplace labor disputes internally, supports interactions and negotiations with employee representatives. Examples include organized labor, governmental, legal. For advanced HR professionals, consults on and develops an effective organized labor strategy to achieve the organization's desired impact on itself and its workforce, educates employees, managers, and leaders at all levels about the organization's labor strategy and its impact on the achievement of goals and objectives, educates employees at all levels about changes in the organization's policies, coaches and counsels managers on how to operate within the parameters of organizational policy, labor agreements, and employment agreements, oversees employee investigations and progressive disciplinary actions, manages interactions and negotiations with employee representatives. Examples include organized labor, governmental, legal. Serves as the primary representative of the organization's interests in activities related to organized labor management. Examples include negotiations, dispute resolution. Technology management. Technology management involves the use of existing, new, and emerging technologies to support the HR function and the development and implementation of policies and procedures governing the use of technologies in the workplace. Key concepts: HR software and technology. Examples include Applicant Tracking System, ATS, Human Resource Information System, HRIS, Learning Management System, Performance Management System, Big Data Analytics Software, Collaboration Software, Blockchain, Artificial Intelligence, Machine Learning. Data and Information Management. Examples include data integrity, confidentiality, security, disclosure, backups, cloud-based software, cybersecurity, data retention. Approaches to electronic self-service for HR and people management functions. Examples include scheduling, timekeeping, contact information updates, benefits enrollment. Standards and policies for technology use. Examples include Bring Your Own Device policy, Off-Site Network Access policy, websites, computers for personal activity, internet messaging, corporate and personal email. Social media management. Examples include internal social media platforms, social media policy, branding. Proficiency indicators for all HR professionals. Implements and uses technology solutions that support or facilitate delivery of effective HR services and storage of critical candidate and employee data. Implements technology that integrates with and complements other enterprise information systems, software, and technology. Develops and implements organizational standards and policies for maintaining confidentiality of candidate and employee data and limiting access as appropriate. Uses technologies in a manner that protects workforce data. Provides guidance to stakeholders on effective standards and policies for use of technologies in the workplace. Coordinates and manages vendors implementing HR technology solutions. Uses technologies to collect, access, and analyze data and information to understand business challenges and recommend evidence-based solutions. for advanced HR professionals. Evaluates, advocates for, implements and retires technology solutions to achieve HR strategic direction, vision and goals. Evaluates and selects vendors to provide HR technology solutions. Designs and implements technology systems that optimize and integrate HR functional areas. Develops and implements technology-driven self-service approaches that enable managers and employees to perform self-service and people management functions. Assesses and implements automation technologies that augment human talent. Collaborates with business leaders to define the role of digitalization in the overall business, new products or services, new markets, and growth strategy.